welcome back to the archives. Today, we're going to be looking at Kala Ghoda, the first data pack in the Mumbad Cycle, which is the newest cycle for Android Netrunner, uh, of course. And we're going to have some fun poking around at the cards. Now, things are a little different. Things are changing up with Kala Ghoda and the Mumbad cycle. They're doing some new interesting things. Um, one of which is there's certain cards that are going to be having a limit of 6 per pack or per deck instead of 3, which is the usual. Um, and they work well when compiled together and so on. But there's also the fact that because of this, I think some of the data packs in the Mumbad cycle are only going to have 19 original cards. Because usually a data pack, for those of you who don't know, is a collection of 60 cards, and you have 3 copies each of 20 different cards. That's how it's been so far. Now, with the Mumbad cycle and them wanting to allow you a limit of 6 per deck, uh, in order to do that without making you buy 2 data packs, what they seem to be doing is we're going to give 19 original cards, and at least in this particular deck, they've got 19 original, and only one of those is the limit of 6 per deck. So while 18 of the cards you're going to get 3 copies of, uh, that one card that has a limit of 6 per deck, you're going to get 6 copies of. So 2 copies to go with each 20 cards. So it'll still be 60 cards total. You'll just be getting 6 copies of one card instead of 3 copies. So it's kind of interesting, I thought. So anyways, let's get right to it. And we're going to start with the identity that's in this, a runner identity. And here she is. We have a shaper identity of Jesminder Serene, the girl behind the curtain. She's got a 0 link strength. It's not too different than most other shapers. 45 minimum card deck, 15 influence. Identity natural. She definitely has a look to her. She's got the black and pink and blue hair, as well as some sort of a headband. I think she's about to throw a hood up over herself. Um, she's all decked out in gray with blue highlights and stuff. Very cyberpunky. Very cyberpunky. I like it. And then we have her special ability, avoid the first tag during each run. Now that can be throwing her against NBN or any deck that has heavy tracers. Um, that can be good because she'd just be like a data raven, for example. She hits a data raven, and a data raven is like, you have to take a tag or you end the run. And she would just be like, I take the tag. Now, as long as that's the first tag during each run, she'll just avoid it entirely. So she can get by a data raven without being tagged if she can break that subroutine on it. Data ravens don't really worry her. It's an interesting little thing, and she's got the little flavor text mirror mode on. So mirror mode, girl behind the curtain, avoiding tags. Uh, I would say she has a very I am the invisible runner type deal going on with her in terms of her flavor. I kind of like her. I may end up using her uh, when she comes out, which she actually has come out because uh, durr, it's Kala Ghoda was released, I believe, just a few days ago. Uh, so yeah, that's interesting. So we'll head on to the next card. We're going to go through the shaper cards that are in this first, and then all the runner cards, and then do the corp cards afterwards. So on to the next card. Here we have um, Jasminder Serene's console, Maya. Now, I'm not sure from the look of it but it might be that the clothing that she was wearing was her console with the belts and everything because there's designs on this that are showing up that weren't on her exactly. Oh no, yep, they were. They were. I just double checked. And you can kind of see the cloak in the background on her particular thing. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. Maya, 3 credits to install. Not a hefty install cost. 2 memory unit addition, so it gives you 6 memory units. Once per turn, immediately after you access a card from R&D, you may add that card to the bottom of R&D. If you do, take 1 tag. Limit 1 console per player. Interesting. Very interesting. Now, one of the neat things about this is with her, with Jasminder's um, special ability and the console's ability, as long as you don't take a tag during the run on R&D, you hit R&D, access the card, look at it. If it's not an agenda, if it's something you don't want them to have, you can just be like, I put that on the bottom. You take a tag because of the console. And then because of her special ability, you avoid that tag, as long as that was the first ability during the run. At least I think that's the way that works out. It should, because the run isn't concluded until afterwards. But we will see. We will see. All I know is I like the art on this card. I like the flavor that they've got going so far. And let's go on to the program. The first program that the Shapers have in this new Data 1. Now, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, but we'll give it a shot. Panch Panchatantra? Panchatantra. I think it's Panchatantra, maybe. It has a rather bizarre looking winged wolf, possibly flaming creature thing. Might be a hyena. I don't know. Um, 2 credits to install it, and 1 memory unit it will take up. It is a program. Once per turn, when you encounter a piece of ice, you may have it gain 1 subtype of your choice that is not sentry, code gate, or barrier for the remainder of this run. Now, I think what's going to happen is in the rest of the Mumbad cycle, there's going to be some icebreakers that have special bonus abilities or an easier way of taking down um, ice that isn't sentry, code gate, or barrier. Um, at which point Panchatantra here will come in very handy because you can just be going do 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 do. That is this particular ice. I'm using this program now uh, to break all the subroutines on it and get past it when otherwise it would be a lot more of a hassle. So I don't know. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case, but we'll see. And then you have the flavor text on this card. The basics should be like the stories you learned as a child. Unconscious, never forgotten, and suddenly relevant at the most random times. By Guru. A hacker that we've seen on flavor text quite a bit, but never seen in the canon at all. And here we go. It's a 2 influence cost for this card as well. I almost forgot. Maya was a 3 influence cost for that. And on to the next card for the Shapers, the last one. This is a resource, location, artist colony, costs you 0 credits to install this. So this is a free install. It will only cost you a click. Um, Forfeit an agenda. Search your stack for a card and install it, paying the install cost, shuffle your stack. Now, there's a lot of cards that allow you to search your stack for a uh, to search your stack for a program for an event for a piece of hardware, a specific piece of hardware, uh, all this good stuff. But this is the first one I've seen that I can remember. I could be wrong, but this is the first one that's a resource. So you can play this and it just sits there, ready to be used at any time, and all you need is an agenda to do it with. So you forfeit an agenda, you can search your stack for any card at all, and install it, paying the install cost. It can be, you could use this to fish your console out. You could use this to fish any program you need. And because it is a paid ability, because this is a resource location that's just out there, this is a paid ability, forfeit an agenda, it means you can do this in the middle of a run. You come across something you don't have anything for, forfeit an agenda, go in and do that. And we have the flavor text. We can forgive a man for making a useful thing as long as he does not admire it. The only excuse for making a useless thing is that one admires it intensely. Oscar Wilde. Very nice. 3 influence costs on this one as well. Okay, now we're going to kick off to, I believe, yes, we're going to kick off to the Anarch cards. There's only a couple of them, and the first one we have is our limit 6 per deck card, the Ramujan Reliant 550 BMI. And it has a super creepy image of a couple of young East Indian children, I believe, um, eating their cereal with like glowy lights all over their head and their eyes glowing the same color as those lights are. And they look almost practically zombified. It is quite creepy. It is a 1 credit install, so it is not hard. Consumer grade hardware. 1 credit to install it. Now, you trash it. You trash one of these to prevent up to X net or brain damage. Trash cards from the top of your stack equal to the amount of damage prevented. X is the number of copies of Ramujan Reliant 550 BMI installed, including the one just trashed. So you get all 6 of these out. You can just trash 6 cards off the top of your stack to get rid of 6 brain damage. That will let you run on just about anything with no fear of them being able to deal enough damage to kill you, because you can get 6 right there, and whatever you've got in your hand is also available to trash for net damage. So you're laughing if you get those out. So yes, 1 influence cost only for this particular Anarch card. That is still a creepy image. The zombie children. All right, let's move on to the next Anarch card. Here we have Run Amok. It is a 3 credit to play event. Sabotage run. Make a run. When the run ends, trash 1 piece of ice that was rezzed during this run. Now that could be that could be fun. Because you play that, the corp knows you're going to trash a piece of ice that was rezzed during the run. They could just choose to not res and let you in. But if they not res and let you in, then that ice is useless anyway. But if they do res and try and stop you, you can trash a piece of ice. And the best part is, it says when the run ends, trash 1 piece of ice that was rezzed. So the run doesn't even have to be successful. They just have to have rezzed a piece of ice, and you can trash it. That is nice. That is nice. Here we have the flavor text from Ramesh Gupta, One World Economy. While there have been other anti-corporation movements before, like the Maroon Wave, this new one is different. It's organized. Interesting. Interesting. And on we go to the next card. Here we have Street Magic. It is a zero credit install virtual resource. Uh, Unbroken subroutines resolve in the order of your choice. Now that could be interesting, um, especially, hmm, unbroken subroutines resolve in the order of your choice. So does that mean that it has to be after you finish breaking subroutines that the other ones resolve in the order of your choice, or does it mean that um, does it mean that you you can choose to not attempt to break any subroutines and have them resolve in the order of your choice? Uh, Regardless, it could be interesting. One. I can think of one right off the bat involving tracers and tags, where you've got one that uh, says you go duh, 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 with the it's coming, it's coming. We've got one where it pulls a trace on you, and if it succeeds, it gives you a tag, followed by if the runner is tagged and the run. If those were to resolve in the order of your choice, you could have it go, if the runner is tagged and the run. Well, you're not tagged. Then you get a trace, which you let go through and you do get tagged, and you just walk through the ice anyways because it resolved the other one first. And if you're just Minder, you can avoid that tag because it's the first one. Hmm. Uh, Followed with the flavor text here, we have the greatest trick is not the trick itself, but in making someone believe that it is no trick at all. To your average sysop, it's magic. To your average runner, it's a closely held trade secret. Very interesting. And it seems to have a snake coiling around something. I don't know if that's a wand or something. I don't know. It's weird. But this is an Anarch card, one influence. Uh, Run Amok was three influence. I forgot to mention. At least I think I forgot to mention. Anyways, on to the next card. We're into some criminal cards now. We have a program here, an Icebreaker Killer, Mongoose. It is 3 credits to install. It is 1 memory unit cost and 2 influence. It is a strength 1. You cannot use Mongoose to break subroutines on more than 1 ice per run. Okay, so you can use it anywhere on any ice. In a way, it's kind of like Femme Fatale. In a way that it's an icebreaker killer. You can use it on any ice, but it's not. Unlike Femme Fatale, it's not stuck on one piece of ice. You can use it on any, but you can only use it on that one ice for that run. 2 credits to give you 2 strength. 1 credit to break up to 2 sentry subroutines. So it's not bad. It is not bad. I could see myself putting that in a deck easily, easily. Rudyard Kipling, Riki Tiki Tavi is the quote, and we have, "It is the hardest thing in the world to frighten a mongoose, because he is eaten from nose to tail with curiosity. The motto of all the mongoose family is, run and find out." Interesting. Yeah, I could definitely see myself using that. All right, on to the next card. Oh, we have a event that is a run, a job, high stakes job. 6 credit to play it. Huh. It's 6 credits to play it, and from the looks of it, that looks like a poker chip with an eye in it that has an eye in it in the center of the eye, and an eye in the center of that eye onward into infinity. So that's kind of weird and strange. Make a run on a server with at least one piece of unresed ice. When the run ends, gain 12 credits if it's successful. So you spend 6, you make a run on a server with an unres piece of ice, possibly spending more, but you get 12 if it's successful, plus whatever the card is. Huh. Interesting. I'm not sure the cost on that would be worth it or not. I'm not 100% sure on that one, if I would use that or not. Okay, and now we have a neutral card. A neutral card. Resource, a Ritzy location. Chatterjee University. 1 credit to install. With a click, you place a power counter on Chatterjee University. With a click, you install a program from your grip, lowering the install cost by 1 for each power counter on Chatterjee University. Remove 1 hosted power counter. Legions of software engineers have been manufactured within its halls. Okay, I see how this works. So you get that down for 1 credit. Then, as if you get this out first, like your first hand, you get this placed. Then you spend a click, maybe that turn. You spend a click, maybe the next turn, and the next turn, and the next turn, placing power counters on this. So you get 4 or 5 or 6 on here. Then you get a program, we'll say. And you basically go, okay, I'm going to spend a click to use Chatterjee University to install this program from my grip, slap that down. I have 5 power counters on it. It lowers the install cost of this program by 5. This program cost me 5 to install. I get to install that for free and take a power counter off of it, but only 1. The other 4 still remain. So the more you use it, the more power counters come off. But if you're using it and you go the next turn, you go, I spend a click, put a power counter back on it, and then you use it again, you can be installing programs for free. This is similar to Personal Workshop in a way, but you build it up ahead of time and it becomes powerful, and then you can just be like boom, 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 and get them for free. Yeah, I will. I will definitely be including that in 1 or 2 of my decks. No influence cost on this, and it's a neutral card. Yeah, I will definitely be including this on some of mine. I like this a lot. Okay, now let's switch over to the Corp cards. And we're going to start with the HB agenda that we have here. Advanced Concept Hopper. 4 credit to advance this. 2 agenda points. So it's a 4-2 agenda. It is a research agenda. The first time the runner initiates a run, each turn you may draw a card or gain a credit. So if you can get that out, every time the runner runs, you're getting a card or gaining a credit. Not bad. Not bad at all. Has the flavor text, I don't want a hopper. I've never even owned one. But every time I jack in, the same damn ad loads. And we have 2X I quotation marks or L quotation marks IGER. I don't know that. Oh wait, no, that's 2X Tiger. Okay. Couldn't quite make that out. So yeah, that is an interesting little Hospileroid. I can see them doing that. All right, on to the next. Oh, we have some HB Ice here. Sentry Bioroid Tracer AP. 6 credit res. Vikram or Vikram. Vikram? Vikram. Vikram. I, I'm not sure if the I is long or short. So we'll say Vikram 1.0. 5 strength. That's not bad. For 6 credits, a 5 strength, that's not bad. And as usual, most Bioroid ice, the runner can spend a click to break any subroutine on Vcrem 1. Point oh, we have the runner cannot use programs for the remainder of this run. Trace 4 if successful, do 1 brain damage. Trace 4 if successful, do 1 brain damage. So it doesn't trash programs, but it does mean that the runner can't use them if they can't stop that. It's not bad. And the art, very Hindu, Indian Hindu mythology, which is where I believe a lot of the ice in the Mumbad Cycle and a lot of the programs in the Mumbad Cycle and whatnot are going to have that flavor and whatnot coming from that area. So it's definitely interesting. Okay, on to the next. Now here we have some Jinteki. Heritage Committee, 1 credit. 1 credit to install this. It is an operation, or one to play it, an Operation Alliance. Now, the Alliance cards are going to be something new that are kicking around in the Mumbad Cycle as well for the Corpse. Uh, Now it says here, this card costs 0 influence if you have 6 or more non-alliance Jinteki cards in your deck. That's what the little symbol there means. They have like the Jinteki symbol or the NBN or the HB or the Wayland symbol instead of spelling the whole word out. Now, what I think this means is that they're going to have, um, there's going to be, this is going to make it easier for people for players to make decks with, say, out of an HB that has more Jinteki cards in it, or a Jinteki that has more NBN cards in it, or an NBN that has more Wayland cards in it, or a Wayland that has more Hospioroid in it. Uh, it allows those alliances to happen and more cards to bleed over because I think all of the alliance cards are going to be have this little flavor on it here. Like this card costs 0 influence if you have 6 or more non-alliance cards in your deck. So as long as you've got 6 Jinteki cards in your deck, this doesn't cost any influence. So you could have 3 of these in your deck, and instead of it taking 6 of your influence, it takes 0, allowing you to have more interesting stuff. I like that. I like this idea. Uh, so I'm definitely looking forward to when it pops around. And we have it being 1 credit to play, draw 3 cards, add 1 card from HQ to the top of R&D. Now that could be interesting. Because you pull 3 cards out into your hand, and then you can take any one of those cards and add it back onto the top of R&D, so you get that mandatory draw next time. That could be interesting, especially if you pulled a if you pulled a trap card and want to seed it back in the hopes that they run R&D. Hmm, I don't know. I don't know, but I kind of like what they're setting up here. All right, on to the next. Here we have the Jindeki card, Mumbad City Grid. 3 credit to res. It is a region upgrade. Whenever the runner passes a piece of ice protecting this server, you may swap that ice with another piece of ice protecting this server. Yeah. See, if you've got 2 or 3 pieces of ice uh, protecting this server, you can wait until they pass the hmm, or if you've got, let's say, a heavy one at the front of your server, and they pass the second one. Hmm. See, I'm wondering if this works the way I think it works. I'm not sure. Because the way I'm reading this, let's say the runner passes by 3 pieces of ice. Okay? And the third piece of ice, it passes. And you use this ability to swap it with the first piece of ice protecting that server. So you swap the last piece and the first piece. So the last piece is now where the first piece was. Does that mean they then have to rerun through the next two pieces of ice again? I think that's what it means, but I'm not sure. Hmm. Three costs a trash, though. It's not a hefty trash, but it's not a hefty res either. Uh, three influence as well. I'll have to poke around and see if that's what that means, because if it does, that is a fantastic little city grid. I like that. Oh, wow. And considering that says whenever the runner passes a piece of ice protecting the server, you may swap that ice with another piece of ice protecting the server. There's no limit to how many times you can do that. You could keep them going until they run out of credits and slam into something that ends the run. Oh, that is evil. That is evil. But I'm not sure it works that way. Again, I don't know. I'll have to ask. But it's definitely interesting. Anyways, on to the next piece of ice, or the next card. Here we have some NBN. I love me some NBN. Kala Ghoda Real TV. Zero credit res. It is an asset that is a cast. When your turn begins, you may look at the top card of the runner's stack. You may trash this card and have the runner trash the top card of his or her stack. A new property has 2, maybe 3 hours. If it doesn't sell, cut it and move on. 4 credits to trash this card. So that's not bad. You could res that just before your turn begins. Look at the top card in the stack and go, I don't want the runner to have this next turn. Trash this and make the runner trash that card. It could be interesting. Could be interesting. All right. I like Kala Ghoda Real TV. That's something that I would be happy to include in some of my particular NBN decks. On to the next. Here we have Interrupt Zero, a 2 res ice that is a code gate, strength 4. It has a couple of bugs that looks like they're building a wall, cutting a cable feed. For the remainder of this run, the runner must pay 1 credit as an additional cost each time he or she uses an icebreaker to break at least one subroutine. For the remainder of this run, the runner must pay 1 credit as an additional cost each time he or she uses an icebreaker to break at least one subroutine. Oh wow! So it's got the same subroutine twice, basically making you pay an extra credit. If you trigger both of those, that means you have to pay 2 extra credits every time you're using an icebreaker to break a subroutine. Oh, that is mean. That is mean, 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 mean. I love it. Mm, that is something that will be going in my NBN deck. I think maybe I may use that to replace um, the universal connectivity fee trap card that I have. Because I haven't been getting much use out of the trap card. And the interrupt, yeah, that looks nice. That looks nice. Okay, on to the next. Here we have the only Wayland card in this data pack. The dedication ceremony. 1 credit to play operation. Place 3 advancement tokens on a face-up card. You cannot score that card until your next turn begins. Never cut the ribbon until you have something to show off. Etta Shah, VP of Global Expansion. Now, now what this is, there is I think there's 1 or 2 Wayland cards in some of the some of the old Hollywood ones, and possibly Data and Destiny as well. There's a couple of cards I remember reading, I can't remember where, but you play them face up. They're advancements that you play face up. So you install the advancement, you place 3 advancement tokens on it, and then your next turn begins and you can throw a couple more on it and do 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 do. It's yeah, This could be very interesting. This could be a good way. One credit for three advancement tokens, even though you can't score it until next turn. If it's good, if it's well protected, you won't need to, and I kind of like that. I really do kind of like that. Three influence costs for Waylon. Pretty hefty there. All right, on to the next. Yes, we've got two more to go here. So here we have a neutral asset, Ritzy Alliance, and it is the Museum of History. One credit res, three credits for the runner to trash. This card costs zero influence if you have 50 or more cards in your deck, and it's a two influence to have it. However, when your turn begins, you may shuffle one card from archives into R&D. This is a Jackson Howard that you don't have to trash. It just automatically operates, and all you need is 50 cards or more in your deck. Now, usually I tend to run 49 cards in a lot of my Corp decks. I probably shouldn't. It's probably not optimal, but I do. So for me to get up to 50, that wouldn't be too hard. And to have three Museum of Histories in there, hmm I would like that a lot. Just my turn begins, I'm going to search archives, I'm shuffling that into R&D. My turn begins, I'm going to take that back from archives into R&D. Take all of my good cards back, shuffle them into R&D. One at a time. And here we see the polar bear, once the largest land carnivore on Earth. Aww, aww, poor polar bear. Alright, on to the last. I figure it'd be fitting to end this particular one with the Mumba Temple. It is an asset, a alliance facility. It is a one credit to install, or res, I should say. Three credits to trash for the runner. This card costs zero influence if you have 15 or fewer ice in your deck. Now, I don't know about having 15 or fewer ice in my deck. I don't know if I have any my corp decks that have that less, but if I did, this would be something I would throw in there because it has two recurring credits that I can use to res card. Those who are the wisest know the least. Mumba Temple. So yes, that is all of the wonderful, wonderful cards in the Kala Ghoda data pack. I hope you've all enjoyed me going through it. Um, just to let you guys know, there may be a time in the future here when myself and one of my friends might be showing off a tabletop simulator with the Android Netrunner mod, which lets us play Netrunner there. And I played a few games with him the other day, and it was remarkably fun. Very easy to use, very nice interface. I quite enjoyed it. It was fun times. But yes, that may be coming in the future on archives. I may actually throw it in on my Pravi's Wheelhouse because it is a video game, sort of. So I don't know. We shall have to see. But regardless, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed me talking about this data pack and some of the interesting cards that are going to be showing up here. Um, Definitely going to be having to pick that up here soon. And yes, for all of you out there, please give that like button a tap if you like what I'm doing. Give the subscribe button a tap if you haven't already, so you can be kept apprised when I upload new videos. Usually something comes weekly, at least one video. I usually try and get a couple of them out, but usually one. Um, and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. Let's talk about the Kala Ghoda data pack, the Mumbad Cycle, and the interesting things that are happening with Android Netrunner. Let's talk about Netrunner, period. Get some discussion going in the comments. Uh, I'm looking forward to talking to some people. So let's do that. And until next time, you all keep running.